Gia, great to see you again. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Hi.
It's interesting because now it's two seasons of playing the same character, right? You come back for Yuri. I'm just wondering, like, do you kind of, as soon as you get that first kind of script for season two, are you like learning more about Yuri? Do you think you kind of have an understanding of this character? Like, what's that like returning for season two of this character?
Honestly, season two return was definitely so much easier than how season one started because we already have the foundation. Everyone feels comfortable with each other. We already know what the universe is about. So honestly, coming back to season two set kind of just felt like we took a very long school break and we just returned back to school. Yeah, it was really natural. Everything just felt natural. We knew our characters, so we didn't have to stumble through too much. Everyone, I think, kind of just fell into it pretty smoothly.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
crazy because it was like at some point, everyone ended watching season one and there were so many unanswered questions. And I think season two does a really good job of really picking up where we left off, so to speak. And a lot of, it was kind of cool because the first couple of episodes were we got answers to some questions we were curious about, but then there was like new characters and new things that kind of happened that you were like, hey, what's going on now? Now I have more questions. What's that like reading all that in the script and then seeing it come to life on screen, the season two kind of bulk of everything, so to speak?
Oh man, yeah, like you said, there's so many new things that happen in season two, new characters, new love entanglements, new tension, new drama. Um, like you said, as well as when we were reading the scripts episode by episode, we were like, oh my God, wait, that's happening now? Wait, what about this thing? Like, what about them? Like, what's happening? So we also kept asking questions, but I guess that just means the writers are doing a very good job because you do want viewers to keep asking questions to come back for what happens. So I feel like they keep like popping new things so that we're all like waiting for the resolution of all these things to come about. So yeah, honestly, it's been very exciting. And obviously, for Yuri this season, she struggles with new sets of problems after, her big character arc in season one of coming out to her mom and the whole conflict between her internal struggles as well
Yep.
as her external struggles with coming into who she really is and trying to be accepted for that. And in season two, it's more about okay, once that's kind of resolved a little bit, what does she do with her life now after Juliana's back in school and there's more real life relationship problems that come with having your partner at school and all these other emotions with Kitty and it's a lot. It's a lot for a teenager. I don't know. I don't know how she does it. Honestly, she
I
does it to
don't. Well, I feel it's funny too because like I said, there were so many unanswered questions and there's a lot of curiosities of like where it can go with certain characters. So
yeah.
kind of what I wanted to know from you is, even before you're officially greenlit that you're returning, because I feel like you wrap season one, and I feel like you have questions about what's next for Yuri. So
Mm.
what was that like for you? Like before kind of talking to anyone, right? Once you were done with season one, what were you thinking about specifically about Yuri's kind of next steps? And like you were like, oh, I hope they touch on this a bit. And did they touch on it? If that makes sense?
Um, I, you know what? It's been a few years,
And it's been a
so I'm
bit,
trying to
absolutely. Yeah.
remember what the end of season one felt like and if we had any idea what was going to happen in season two. I think the writers or showrunner told us, oh, these things might happen in the next season.
Okay, so you had a little bit of an
Um,
idea, right?
we did, especially obviously because we also did leave a lot of things open-ended in season one. Like, what about Kitty and Yuri? Is that gonna that had to be somewhat in the season two? And Juliana coming back, we knew she was coming back. So what does that mean? So I think that a lot of it, we knew what was going to happen externally, but we didn't know what that meant going into the story, I think.
when a season when a show comes back for a season, you talk to anyone involved, it's like how are we gonna make it bigger, how are we gonna make it better? And I feel like mission accomplished with season two of XO Kitty. I
Mhm.
will ask this question right now, in your opinion, because I think what makes it better is we learn more about the characters and the characters seem to have stronger arcs and there just seems to be more growth because season one everyone's on the equal playing field. You've never, except for Anna, you've like all of you have never really played these characters before, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? So it's kind of like a fresh start. Now it's not really a fresh start. You kind of understand these characters. What was something that you think made, specifically your character, like what was something different and more elevated for season two for Yuri compared to season one that you think added to what I was saying about the bigger character growth and development this season?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I mean, season one, as you said, it's about laying the foundations of this character, who they are, what world do they live in, what do they struggle with. And then season two, I feel like, you know what? None of the problems in season one have actually been fully resolved per se, I feel like. They are somewhat resolved. Like, okay, let's kind of put a patch on that. I think that's okay for now, but let's also have all these new things that come in and, deal with that. So even though with her mom, the struggle continues, like, and you can see that in season two too, it's not fully there. But then, it gets better. So I feel like, honestly, though, like the script suggests, and as the viewer already notices, there's always new problems that arise that keep us on our toes. So I feel like the characters don't have much time or energy to dwell on the past problems anyways.
Yep.
It's kind of like, okay, we have to keep moving on, you know?
Mhm.
There's no time to dwell on that. That will work itself out at the time that it should on its
Mhm.
own, or I'll bring it up later. But I feel like in this season, Yuri is constantly, whether it's because of her emotions or other people's emotions or external circumstances, there's constantly new problems or issues that she has to deal with. So I feel like yeah, like I said, I don't think these characters are catching much of a break at all during this entire semester or year.
Yeah.
So it's been a journey, and as much as I try to analyze the scenes before I shoot it, with my head, I think at the end of the day, I also have to rely a lot on my instincts and my intuition, and try not to get too intellectual about it, you know?
Oh my goodness. It's almost like you knew what I was going to ask because that what you just said is literally, I mean, you've been on the show before, so maybe you remember my style a little bit.
Wait, what were you gonna ask?
Well, I was going to ask like cuz you talked about analyzing the character and the scenes and everything, and I
Yeah.
feel like this is also a show that has a lot of those like OMG moments, right? Where you
Mhm.
see like who's dating who now, and certain we see that a lot with Yuri this season, and like Yuri and Anna's Yuri and Kitty's dynamic is just
Mhm.
bigger this season, right? And there might not be tension, and there isn't tension. So, are you ever conscious of the audience member watching Exo Kitty while you're making it, or does that happen a little bit after you wrap, so to speak?
Huh.
Because you were talking about that a little bit with the analyzing scenes, and I was like, oh my god, she might know I'm going to ask about the audience conscious question.
Mm. But oh, you know what though? I was not even thinking about the audience, being conscious of the
No, you were
audience.
talking about the scenes and what she's doing, but it just made me
Right,
think because it's like
right.
you're still analyzing a scene, so it made me think about that a little bit.
Yeah, no,
Maybe you
that's really
can't read my mind.
I mean, that's so interesting because I don't know if I've ever. I mean, okay. I do think there were moments in the production where we as a cast were talking about certain moments or scenes or character choices that we were like, how would this come off to the viewers?
Mhm.
But I wasn't questioning that. I think I was just too focused on the world itself. But then obviously like other people, other actors were like, what about the like what would they think about this?
Yeah.
So it made me think about it. So there were discussions about that, we don't want the viewers to grow resentment or dislike towards any certain characters. So
Mhm.
how do these decisions come off to the outside viewers and our fans? So that definitely did come up a few times during production, but it's not something that I think I'm used to doing really as an actor going into shooting something. But it is
Mhm.
definitely something to think about, especially when you already have an existing fan base as well, and we know like kind of what they want or what they would not want or prefer. So,
For sure. I kind of want to ask about working with the cast this season, everyone coming back, working in Korea. I mean,
Mm.
a lot of you have gotten really close. You are like family. We did find out at some point that you actually do have family in the cast as well, literal family.
Right, right,
So
right,
it's
right.
like I just kind of wanted to know like what was that like kind of coming back and reuniting with everyone and what was it like kind of working with or seeing, maybe you don't have a lot of scenes of Audrey or Joshua and Sasha, but what was it like just being with everyone for season two?
I mean, honestly, it was, like I said, it was so comfortable coming back. Of course, some of the crew had changed, not 100% of the people were the same, but everyone was so lovely, even the new crew members that we'd never met before. Just good people in
Yeah.
general, which really just makes for everything to go so much easier and more smooth sailing. And I really do believe, it's about who you do it with, not really what you do. It's more important. So I just feel blessed every time I'm on set to know that I'm working with good people and everyone just wants the best for each other, the show, and everyone wants everyone to feel comfortable, which I feel like obviously also comes from as a woman
Yep.
having a lot of female-led like leadership in the show also made a difference for me too because it makes me comfortable to speak out or
Mhm.
confide in someone about anything I want to do and and the new cast members also just fell right in. Like they are all just so, I love them so much. I love these people so much. And we all just grew really close as people. So that's another big blessing is like, how are these new people gonna fit in or how are we gonna, make sure that everyone just works together more? Because there's so many characters in the show, but thankfully everyone got along with everyone. So.
Last time we spoke, it was before season one came out, but I saw some episodes and we were able to talk about it, but we banked it until a couple of days after. So we didn't really have a chance to talk about the global impact that this show has had. We did talk a little bit about the fact that it is Netflix, available in so many countries. It is a spin-off of a very popular pre-existing universe with big movies. What has it been like with season one and now season two, with it being out there around the globe with the Netflix effect? Like, what's that been like for you specifically?
I
We
think
haven't talked about it, so
yeah. Well, well, as of this morning, we all saw that it hit #1 in North America, which I was like, that was the first indicator really that I realized, oh, people are watching this, because I think prior to it, because, of the fire situation, we weren't able to do our host our fan screening
yep.
as that was planned. So it didn't hit me at all. Like, even when the show came out, like I don't know. I know that it's out there. I don't know if people are watching. And I'm also taking a break on my social media, so I don't have immediate, feedback unless I go look for any comments or feedback about the
Mhm.
show. But I already saw a lot of comments being like, I already binged the whole show and as soon as it came out, and it's been less than 2 days since it came out. So, and the fact that it hit #1 within like a day is just indicative of how many people have already watched the show. So that hit me. Oh, people have watched this show or are watching this show. So honestly, I feel, like one of the biggest perks of having something available on a major streaming platform that is available around the world, I do feel that effect for sure. Because, all of our fans are so many, they're all from all over the place, North America, South America, Asia, Europe.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh,
A big
actually, one
fan
of
base.
sorry.
It's a big fan base.
Yeah, and one of my friends who was traveling in Poland or somewhere in Europe
Yep.
recently, she told me that when she was on a bus, she saw this little girl in front of her watching EXO Kitty on her phone, and it also hit her like, wow, people are actually watching this from all corners of the world, and that made me really happy too.
That's so cool. And season two of Exo Kitty is available now worldwide on Netflix. And if they haven't seen season two yet, because there's so much content out there, you can catch up. It's good. It's a good refresher. Go back to season one, see what happened, and now you don't have to like. Think about that for a second. Two seasons in a row is kind of a cool thing because it's like you watch a season one, and then if season one ends on a cliffhanger, you could just go right to a season two if you think about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like a little hack, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I know. It's I don't would you yeah, I guess I don't know, do you prefer watching a show that's already come out in bulk like that, or do you think you would still want to be kind of watching it when it comes out?
That's a great question. I feel like it depends on the show. I feel
Uh-huh.
like I'm onto something though. If I feel like that's a cool, you know what I heard the craziest thing? I
Uh-huh.
cannot do this. So to answer your question, I will just do it like I will just watch it like season one, then I'll go season two. I just feel like it's a cool thing that if you didn't have a chance to watch season one, it's two seasons. So it's not like you have six seasons to watch. So you can
Mhm.
easily get into the show.
Mhm.
What some of my friends were doing, I want to know what you think about this because I think this is so crazy,
Mm.
is when a show would drop like week to week, like a Game of Thrones, what
Yeah.
people would do is like season three of Game of Thrones, they'd watch everything except for the finale of season three. And then they would watch the season three finale with the season four premiere, like back to back. So it
Huh.
would be fresh. Because sometimes it takes a while for the shows to come out, but I don't know if I could ever do that.
Yeah, that's a lot of willpower to not watch the last episode. I don't know. I've never tried that, but I don't know if it makes a big impact in watching a new season, then maybe it's worth it.
Maybe we could start something now right now. Maybe we could start, people watch all of season one of Exo Kitty and don't watch the last episode of season one.
Right, right, right.
Then take a little break and then watch the finale or the last episode of season one and go right into season two. That's a
Yeah.
compromise, I think. That works out, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that was
wait, like stop watching one episode, wait for it, and then it's like fresh because it's like back. Because it's true. Sometimes it takes sometimes like it's been a bit, right? You have to get a refresher when a new season
yeah.
comes out.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? That sounds so hard. I don't know if I could resist not
I
watching
think
one.
we're like kind of like I think we're onto something. You're like, no, it's hard. Just like watch season one, season two, watch it. You know what? Streaming worldwide on Netflix is season two of Exo Kitty right now, and they can catch you as Yuri returning. And I said this in season one, and I mean it for season two. You are fantastic in this show, Gia. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, PD. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I remember the energy I had talking to you last season, and I'm just so happy we did this again for this
Thank you
season.
so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Me
And
too, me
like I
too.
said, you said you're taking a break from socials, but Gia Kim on social media, they can check that out. And at some point, there'll be some stuff out there. And yeah, season two is
Yeah.
streaming now, which is awesome. Well, this has been
Come
Pop
on.
Turnative. Yeah,
Thank
youtube.com
you.
slash
Thank
Pop
you,
Turn for previous
PD.
episodes. Till next time, it's Gia Kim and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.